Frantic Nerdcast, hosted by AJ and Brock, talking about all the nerdy things that you want to hear about. Let's get into it. How you going, guys? Welcome to Frantic Nerdcast. I am AJ.
And I'm Brock.
And we are back again. This week, we are running a little bit late from when we normally would release the episode. Why is that, Brock?
No idea. We were just late. Because of course, we went and seen the absolutely marvelous, fantastic movie of Deadpool and Wolverine, and fuck me, it was amazing.
It was so good. Now we will get into that. We will get into that later. We even have a little special treat for you. Oh, it's not really a treat. I mean, it's just us talking, but it's in a different location.
Frantic Nerdcast goes on the road.
That's right. But first things first, we have a massive shout out this week because we officially have our first Patreon member. So we're going to give a massive shout out to Mr. Zach Menning because he is our first Patreon. Now, some of you may know Zach. He has been in 2 episodes. 2 or 3? 2 episodes, yes. He's a friend of the show, a friend of us, and we would like to say a massive shout out to him for officially being the Guinness Book World Record for the first Patreon member of Frantic Nerdcast.
Thank you very much, Zach. It is so massively appreciated. Kicking off that journey for everything that we aim to do with this show. And, mate, you're a legend.
And if you would like to become a Patreon member, you can head to patreon.com/Frantic Nerdcast. And for $5 a month, you can help us be awesome.
Thank you.
Yes. And also on that note, the first episode of Frantic Nerdcast Plays Games is officially live on the YouTubes. It came out on Tuesday. Episodes 2 and 3 are live on the Patreon, and every Tuesday they will be coming out via Patreon and YouTube, alternately 2 weeks apart. So if you'd like to view us playing video games and whatnot, that is how you do it. You can either wait and watch it on YouTube or get it early on Patreon.
Exactly.
All right. Let's get into, we'll just warm things up a little bit. Let's just get fucking straight into it. Movies. Now, we're just gonna get straight into it. Besides the obviousness that we're about to talk about, let's hit up some rumors here. You got any rumors for us, Mr. Yeah. Brockery?
I do have rumors. Let's you kick us off because I.
Okay. Well, I'm going to talk about this one's not a rumor. This is a thing that happened recently. I'd like to talk about the amazing, beautiful, nerd cry-inducing moment that happened in Infinite Crisis, DC Infinite Crisis Part 3 or whatever it's called.
Oh, I haven't actually watched this yet.
So it's a little spoiler, but it's still a nice spoiler. It's already all over the internet, so we'll give a spoiler warning. So in Part 3, it cuts to a couple of different planets, and it cuts to one of them, and you see these fantastic blimps floating through the sky, and it's dark, and you hear the 1995 Batman animated series music play. And then Joker flies through and you see Batman there. Batman comes in, all his glory. The sweet, sweet, sweet rest in peace voice of Kevin Conroy comes on. Starts talking, like he's punching Batman. And then you see the antimatter ray thing coming through, trying to destroy the planet. And then Batman, Joker's like, "You're going to die punching me?" And he goes, "If it has to end, at least I go out like this, being Batman." And then it goes, and I was just like, oh, that's the way to end Kevin Conroy's beautiful, beautiful history as Batman, going out as Batman. It was just perfect.
I'm very, very keen to give it a watch, and yeah, although that bit spoiled, that's not something that ruins the show.
It's just a beautiful moment. It's not a spoiler. Yeah, it's a beautiful moment. What do you got?
Yeah. First time for me is that he wrote a sequel to Shaun of the Dead, and it was called From Dusk Till Dawn, which would have been about vampires.
Oh, that would have been great. I would have loved to have seen that.
I know, right?
I mean, don't get me wrong. I love the Cornetto trilogy, but that would have been a cool sequel. I'd still like to see it called like them older, and that would be great. I'd love to see that.
Fuck yeah.
Robert Downey Jr. is said to be returning as Doctor Doom.
Oh, I did see this. I did see this. I seen as Doctor Doom. I can't remember if I read to it like very quickly after each other, but I also read it as a Kang variant who will then become Doctor Doom. I'm like, fucking, that's too much to absorb.
Yeah, no.
That is straight up the fucking the rumors. Rahul Kohli lost to Pedro Pascal for the role of Reed Richards.
And who is Rahul Kohli?
So Rahul Kohli, I'll do a quick. I know his face, and you'll know his face when you see him. But let's do a quick Rahul Kohli over here and see some of the other things that he has been in. But he was in some stuff like The Life of Chuck. He was in Death and Other Details, The Fall of House Usher, Midnight Club, Midnight Mass, Rocketeer. He was actually Jonathan Crane in several episodes, the voice of several episodes in Harley Quinn. He was in Supergirl for a couple of episodes. He was in iZombie. So he's been around a lot of stuff.
Is he? Who was he in iZombie?
He was Ravi in iZombie.
Was that the mortician guy?
Yeah.
Oh,
Pardon?
yes. I know who he is. Yeah.
So he's a guy you recognize his face.
Yeah.
I would have been pretty keen to see that, but I mean, I'm more excited for Pedro Pascal. But I thought it was an interesting little.
No, he's too young for Reed Richards. You know, he's got the grey hair. He's not meant to be a young man.
The photo that I've seen fits perfectly because he's got that bit more of an older look. Like, his hair is already starting to grey, and if he gets like that shadow and whatnot, it would fit into it quite well.
Okay.
Yeah. I'll send you the photo.
All right. So Inside Out 2 is now the second biggest animated film of all time.
Yeah, I'm not surprised.
Yeah, it's done gangbusters.
At all. Not surprised. Because the first one was Lion King, yeah?
I'm not sure. I think Incredibles had it for the longest time.
Did it?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure.
Okay. Google. The beauty of Google. While you're Googling, The Day After Tomorrow is getting a sequel. Sequel to it has been confirmed to be in the works.
Oh, excellent. I'm 100% for that. Sorry, I do apologize. It is now the highest. It was the second. Sorry. No, it still is the second. Lion King is the first. Yes, Lion King is 1.6 million. 1.6 billion. Inside Out is 1.4 billion. And then Frozen 2 is 1.4 as well. Super Mario Bros. Movies up there for number 4. Frozen at 5, Incredibles 2 at 6, Minions 7, Toy Story 4, Toy Story 3, Despicable Me 3, and then a lot more.
Well, there you go.
The Simpsons movies number 50.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
That's done well to hold out that long, to be quite honest.
Yeah, it's getting beaten by Brave, my favorite Pixar film.
That is actually a top movie. That caught me off guard. That
Yep, I fucking love Brave, man. The hair is just... I watch that hair and I'm like, that's when they nailed it. That's when they nailed CGI hair on Brave.
It was pretty sweet.
What else you got?
I can't remember if we... Oh, no, it's back to you. Sorry.
Is it? King Spawn script. Todd McFarlane has teased the King Spawn script.
Yep. That looks sick.
And I believe it's Jamie Foxx is playing Spawn, playing Al Simmons.
Yes.
So... Yep. I'm very excited for that. A creator-led Spawn film, like Todd McFarlane. He's a bit out there human being, a bit of a arsehole from what I've heard things, but he is a very talented man and he knows his shit when it comes to his own creation.
Oh, well, there you go. That'll be incredible.
Yes.
I can't remember if we spoke about this one, but Glenn Powell, apparently he's a bit of a front runner, or he's in talks with James Gunn to be our Bruce Wayne and Batman within the DCU. If you don't know him, Glenn Powell, he's currently in the cinemas.
Yeah, I think we talked about this last week.
I can't remember because there's been a few different Batman.
I'm 100% for him to be Batman. I think he would be fantastic. But he's said on multiple cases he doesn't want to be in a comic book movie. He's
I'm
very
sure if his pockets are getting lined, he won't mind.
yeah. Well, he's very much about the script kind of actor, from everything I've read.
Yeah.
So he won't do anything unless the script's good.
If they get him a good script.
Yeah, but he'd be fantastic at it, and like he was in that rom-com with Sarah Sweeney, Sarah Sydney. What's the Sydney? Sydney Sweeney. Sydney Sweeney. That's it. Anyone But You, the Australian one. It was really good. It's on Amazon, I think. He's also in The Dark Knight Rises. I did not know that. Cool.
Who is he in that?
He plays someone. So
down there.
Kit Connor is said to be in the running to play Hulkling.
Okay.
So he's in like Rocket Man, Ready Player One. He's one of the voices in that new Wild Robot animated movie that's coming out.
Yeah. Okay.
He's still a young actor, but he's a pretty good little actor. So he's in the running to play Hulkling apparently.
Nice. All right, that'll be pretty sweet. This one, you'll love this one.
Oh,
like I think this will be one of your favorite rumors. Zack Snyder's Rebel Moon is getting a spin-off titled "The Seneschal" takes place 500 years before the events of the film.
Oh, great! So we need an entire film just to explain what happened in these two films, because
Oh, fucking hell!
And apparently, I saw they released the teaser trailer for the teaser poster for the R-rated version.
Okay.
Which
great.
Woo! We'll see how it goes. Could end up being the movie of the year for us.
No, here we go.
All right, my last one is the X-Men wore black leather in the first X-Men movie because it came out just after The Matrix, and everyone thought that black leather was cool because of The Matrix.
Yeah. I seen this and I read that and I laughed and then I went,
Yeah, that's right.
That's fair. Fair enough.
Yep.
The last one that I have is Chloe Bennett is heavily rumored to return to Marvel in Armor Wars.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Heavily to come back there. So as S.H.I.E.L.D. agent Daisy Johnson, I think that'd be pretty sweet. She was awesome in that show.
Yep. No, it's good. I would really like them to sort of bring in that S.H.I.E.L.D. world, because it is technically connected, but it's not connected at the same time.
It was the only. So I've watched it all at some point in time, and the only thing that I really thought it gave some gravity into like the overarching MCU was the build up to Winter Soldier. So I thought that
with the whole S.H.I.E.L.D. thing and all that kind of stuff.
Exactly. The
S.H.I.E.L.D. and Hydra.
Like collapse and the Hydra infiltrating it and all that sort of stuff. Like I thought that build into it was really good. I watched it in like after the fact. It would have been good to watch it at the time leading into Winter Soldier.
Yeah, I watched it after the fact as well.
It didn't add anything, but it was still pretty cool to watch.
Yeah. I thoroughly enjoyed the Ghost Rider arc. That was good.
Yeah, that was sweet. That was one of the good arcs through there. And I'd even like to see that. I can't recall who the actor was, but I'd like to see that come back. That was awesome.
Okay, so we are now going to move on to our initial response to what we thought of Deadpool and Wolverine. Now, this is recorded as soon as we left the theater. We jumped in the car and we started recording this. Now, we did record our ideas on the way there, but I didn't press record on the camera. So that whole conversation was just between me and Brock and no one else. So we have our initial thoughts of what happened. And I warn you, this is super duper spoiler heavy.
Yes.
So if you do not want to hear any spoilers about Deadpool or Wolverine, we will get you to skip to 51 minutes. It's held there because I'm going to put the audio back in. So if you just heard the audio, that means it worked. So we are now going to travel to Past Us. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we have just seen Deadpool and Wolverine. Now, we did record a whole piece of us coming to watch it, talking about our predictions and stuff, but we didn't press record, so therefore it didn't happen. So we're going to mix it up a little bit. So as we would have previously, as Future Us would have mentioned,
in the past us.
So future us, for the people who are recording the podcast, that this is mixed in. Future us, there's multiverses, man. Future us will have said that this contains spoilers. So if, and it would have given you a time code to skip to if you don't want to hear the spoilers. So here we go. What we're going to do, we'll talk about kind of what we thought was going to happen, and then we'll mix it in with the spoilers and stuff like that. You want to start, sir?
No, you can kick us off.
Okay. Well, first off, let's just say this movie was fucking awesome.
Oh, it was so fucking good.
It was worth every fucking second, man.
It did not disappoint in the slightest. The action was fucking on point. The starting was left fucking field, and it was awesome.
That start part where he's like, Wolverines don't die. And then it's just like, fuck.
Oh, dear God.
And our gate is open. And just, like, it was so much happened in this movie.
It just didn't stop. But you know how some movies just sort of come at you and they just keep coming at you? This started, kept going, but it just sort of increased and crescendoed like nicely with its up and down.
Yeah.
And but its down was like a medium, so to speak. Like, it was never off. It was so good. The quips that Ryan Reynolds was just on fucking fire the whole time. Every time he opened his mouth, stock standard dribble would come out, and it was fucking hilarious. The action scenes were fucking on point. Like the opening fight scene that they had, like the very first one,
intertwined with him doing the NSYNC Bye 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 dance.
Yes. Very left field, fucking well done. Oh, jeez. I mean, if you had to pick a favourite part to the movie, could you? Or even a favourite scene?
Look, I love how they intertwined the ridiculous that is Deadpool throughout all of it.
Yep.
But then they had those little moments of heart and just like all the Deadpools generally. But they did it really well with the Wolverines.
Yes.
And Laura and Logan having their moment again. But it had to be the end of the movie. The crescendo of the Wolverine and Deadpool holding hands.
Yep.
Fucking preventing the timeline from being destroyed.
Yeah. Like, that was fucking insane. And even like the build to that, like that whole more or less 10 or so minutes to finish it off with the final sort of fight scene versus all the variant Deadpools, into, as you just said, them doing their hold hand to try and beat everyone.
Or to Madonna.
It was fucking...
Life is a mystery.
It was so well done.
So let's go through some cameos, shall we? Because the cameos were fucking on point.
But before
Before
we go through cameos, what was your favourite cameo? I know exactly what
Blade.
mine is. Yeah, that was the one.
By far, Blade.
It was so fucking good.
And just the sheer fact of the comment that Ryan Reynolds makes about the fact that Wesley Snipes fucking hated him during Blade and refused to film scenes with him.
Yeah.
That was my favourite fucking cameo.
And he finishes it off with, "Still don't." Oh, it was fucking awesome.
Alright, so from the start, cameos, what did we get? Who was the first cameo we got?
First cameo, fucking, I can't even remember. Because they just threw them at you. So I think the first big one was probably Cavill.
Oh yeah,
He
so
came through.
That's right. We did a Wolverine montage.
Yeah.
So we got all the different montages.
Actually, no, the first one would have been actually Hulk, because you've seen Hulk first.
Yeah, so you got Hulk, and then, during that montage as well, so the kind of cameos, you get the famous X cover of Wolverine on the massive X with the fucking skulls.
Yep.
You get Madripoor Wolverine with the eye patch.
Yep.
And then you got fucking Henry Cavill as Logan.
Which was awesome.
You got
tiny Wolverine. Oh, I did not expect that.
It was a little upsetting that they didn't make that Radcliffe, but it's all good.
Yeah.
So you got that. What other? Yeah, you got the Wolverine in the brown costume that fights the Hulk.
Yep.
And then you meet our Wolverine from the movie.
Yep.
Who is a completely different timeline, so not related to any other fucking timeline.
Mm-hmm.
Then who did we get after that? Then we got TVA.
And then I think they more or less get dropped into the TVA. So we get all of those sort of known X-Men. Like, he fucks up Sabretooth in about 2 seconds. That was funny.
Yep. So that was the OG X-Men Sabretooth.
Yes.
You got Toad. You had Pyro. You had the Fantastic Four car. You had Red Skull's car.
Yep.
I didn't recognise the other cars.
You had bloody Chris Evans is
See, I knew that one was going to happen.
Yeah.
Because as soon as like Chris Evans revealed himself, I'm like, that's fucking.
100%.
There's no way that would have been Cap.
100%.
And then I saw his arm when he cuddled him. I'm like, yeah, that's fucking Human Torch costume.
Yeah.
That's why they're hiding the chest.
Yeah.
So you had him as Johnny Storm from the Fantastic Four.
Mm-hmm.
Then when we go in and you go into the big Ant-Man thing that you saw in the trailer, you had a new Juggernaut.
Yes.
Because obviously old mate didn't want to come back.
Yep.
Which Juggernaut is it this week?
Yeah.
Then you had there was like a whole heap of the X-Men people from X-Men 3.
Yep.
One with the tattoos and all that kind of stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Who else did we have in there? There was a whole heap of them in there. But they're all mainly in the background. Like you had the red dude from X-Men First Class.
Yep.
There were a couple other ones.
I always forget one of the Weapon X with the claws.
Oh, Lady Deathstrike.
Lady Deathstrike, yeah.
There were a couple others. Most of them you saw in the trailer.
Yeah, correct.
And obviously Cassandra Cain.
Yep.
Then we jump out and you see Nice Pool.
Yes.
And you get introduced to Dog Pool.
Nice Pool and Dog Pool. That's brilliant.
And then they obviously mention the Deadpool core.
Yep.
And then from there we jump to the big cameos, which they played out hilariously. Of one walked in, then another one walked in, then another, all in slow-mo.
Yeah.
So you got Elektra, played by Jennifer Garner, who we all knew was coming.
Yeah.
Blade, who I did not see coming.
I heard a whisper of it a little while ago, but it was just like, it was a whisper and that was fucking it. So I'm like, you know what? Whatever. Snipes isn't coming through.
Yep.
But and you know what I loved about Snipes and the way he was talking was like, I'm the only motherfucking Blade.
Yeah.
And there ain't no other motherfucking Blade coming through. And he just sort of looks at the screen. There's that pause. You're like, oh shit. I thought that was awesome.
And then Gambit.
Yep, Gambit.
Comes on in. And fuck me, that accent was hilarious.
And they didn't hold back with it either. He just went full into it. And Channing Tatum, by the way.
Yeah, Channing Tatum.
And he went full into it, and then
they joked about the fact that he never got to be what he was, and like just wishful thinking by Channing Tatum.
Yeah.
And then X-23 shows up, who was ruined in the trailer.
Yep.
Which pissed me off a little bit that they ruined her in the trailer.
Yeah, there was a lot of stuff about her coming through like before the trailer got released. As I said, I didn't see the trailer. I kind of expected it because I seen a few things come through. But yeah, you're right. It's a shame that
I liked that it was the Logan weapon.
That
it wasn't another one. It was like kind of her. So she got that moment with Logan again, and then she put the glasses on.
Yes, that was so good. And again, pretty much every action scene in this thing is so fucking well done, so well thought out for like every element. When you bring in, like, even just when you've got Deadpool and Wolverine on the screen, they are just fucking. I think there's 3, maybe 4 times where it's just them two fucking going hammering tongs at each other. So well done.
Blood and dotting the shit out of each other.
Yeah.
And then right at the big fight scene at the end, we get Deadpool and Wolverine versus the Deadpool core. So you got Headful, you got Lady Deadpool, who, drum roll please, is played by Blake Lively.
However, you do not see her.
You do not see her. It's just her name in the credits.
Yep.
And then you got Baby Pool, you got Kid Pool, you got Cowboy Pool, there's like a Monk Pool, fucking Samurai Pool, Futuristic Pool. There's 100 of them, they say, and it's just, the fight scene is fucking hilarious.
The way that came into an ending too, I did not see that fucking coming. Just, hey everybody, it's Peter. Hey, I'm Peter Pool. Wait, you all know me? We've all got a Peter.
and it's just fucking. Oh, it was just insane. The quips were on fucking point. The amount of fun. Lucky. We felt lucky. Lucky cameo.
Yep.
And just the Marvel references, like the MCU references.
The Fox references.
Blatantly say that the multiverse saga has been a flop.
Oh yeah.
And like just sitting there, like just bagging on it.
It's like when the Deadpool core comes out, they just go, "Come on, enough of this multiverse shit! Like, just take the L and move on. Just move on."
Put the thumbs down.
Fucking and the dig at the Mad Max infringement. This could be a Mad Max infringement, and then when Sabretooth gets his head cut off by Wolverine in 2 seconds flat, Deadpool just picks up the head and just starts carrying on, just like, "This is real, so I know I'm your king. Your queen is dead." It's like, fucking hell. Oh, absolutely hilarious.
But yeah, it was. Did it live up to everything kind of you were hoping for it?
That I was hoping for?
Yep.
Look, it did what it needed to do. It was an amazing movie, start to finish, full of action. It hit the comedy perfectly. It had Hugh in there, Wolverine in there with his emotional draw, as well as his just outright rage. And yeah, that was hilarious. I mean, I'm not disappointed whatsoever in that movie. Like, it was incredible. It hit everything that I wanted it to.
That's it. It was by far, it's probably up there with the best MCU thing since Endgame.
Oh, it's up
100%.
Yeah. Since Endgame, 100%, it's up there. Like, it was just fucking awesome.
Oh, and there is another cameo, Thor. But it wasn't Chris Hemsworth.
Oh, yeah.
It wasn't.
No, it's who played?
I recognise the face.
It wasn't. Because it wasn't. Because it's from when they do their play acting, when they're doing the.
Yeah, that's Hemsworth's brother. In the play act,
is it?
That's Hemsworth's older brother,
right?
And Matt Damon plays Loki.
Yeah. So I just assumed it was the same again, but I couldn't tell.
Yeah,
because it went like.
I don't think it was Hemsworth. Hemsworth's brother, the one that's in Westworld.
Yeah, okay.
That's
Luke?
No, Luke's the one that was married to Miley Cyrus, wasn't he?
Oh, I can't remember now.
Not the young one that was in like.
No, that was Liam.
That was like, it might be Luke then.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's the older one.
Yeah, okay. You know what I actually liked as well that they did they'd obviously taken the piss out of Fox the whole time. The movie was a really, really big ode to what was done with Fox.
Yeah, because all the cameos were not like those pre-Marvel.
Yeah, exactly.
Movies that made Marvel comics, like Marvel.
Exactly. And it was a really good nod and ode to all of that. Throughout the movie, like, even though yes, it was taking the piss, but it was also a really, really good nod to it. But in the end credits, they actually do more or less a snippet of a whole bunch of behind the scene footage from X-Men, from
pretty much everything before.
Yeah, exactly. And I just thought that as well was just a nice little bow of thank you for what you've done, Fox.
Yeah.
Now Marvel is sort of gonna move forward with whatever they do in the future.
And one of the big things I was surprised by is he's still in his universe. So he's not actually Frantic.
Yeah. So that was quite interesting. Like, I don't know what they're going to do there, whether they're going to keep it separate or who knows? Because if you want to talk from a Marvel 616, like that being what do they call it? The sacred timeline or whatever. Yeah. Like, if that's the one that's sort of the culmination of where everything is basically happening, like, are we going? Well, you wouldn't know this, but we were talking about the multiverse saga beforehand. But anywho, that's gone now. I mean, are they going to still loop them back into the main timeline, or was this kind of a finish, so to speak, for those characters? Because I mean, it was a bit of a finish again for Hugh Jackman as Wolverine. It was it had that touch. There was a couple of comments, or at least one comment towards the end of the movie where it said, "Oh, will you see me again?" and it said no. Like, yes, they went to a party straight after, but it was sort of, I'm done again. And then even from a Deadpool perspective, like you're not sure what else that would bring into it. I mean, there might be cameos. They might do another multiverse sort of loop closure type thing to bring it all back in together. I mean,
there was the Secret War comic.
Yeah. Yep, exactly.
Yeah.
So that could...
Which, that again, you saw in the fucking trailer.
Yep. So, I mean, that could be the point of where it heads to and sort of that brings it together, so to speak.
And I'm pretty sure Secret War's pretty much been confirmed.
That was my understanding, yeah. I think
the phase 6.
Yeah, I think the next big one was meant to be the Kang, and then after that it was sort of Secret Wars.
Yeah.
Or maybe Secret Wars was in between or something like that, or I can't remember exactly. Or the start of Secret Wars was in between or something like that. But I'm sure that at San Diego they'll let us know their new timeline of how the fuck it's all going to go.
Secret timeline.
Oh, dear God. But yeah, I mean, it was interesting to see that he wasn't there. The little piece that they threw at the front end, that was interesting, where Deadpool was in 616 doing an interview with Happy.
Yeah, Happy Logan.
And they brought that back to 2018. So I think that was when the second Deadpool movie finished, or when it was around the time that one came out.
Maybe. 6 years ago.
And I think that was another little, hey, we did a thing back then to try and sort of loop and bring him in, but it didn't happen. And then,
because they did. That's what it was pretty much announced.
Yeah, exactly.
Part of it, kind of thing. Yeah.
Yeah. So
apparently, Ryan said he'd written like so many versions of the script,
right?
And like one of the original ones, did have Logan in it.
Well,
and I was like, no, it's not going to happen. One of them apparently had musical numbers and shit in it as well.
Right. That doesn't surprise me. That doesn't surprise me at all.
But no, I love that shit. That was a phenomenal film. And Future Us, I'm sure we'll continue to talk about it a little bit. We'll get a bit more detailed once we've resonated on it. Let it marinate in our frantic brains.
Yeah, I was going to say, this is kind of just the blurt of excited things that we've just seen.
Literally 20 minutes ago.
Yeah, it was so fucking good. So happy with it. Did not disappoint in the slightest. It was amazing.
All right, well, back to you, future AJ and Brock.
Peace out.
And that was past us. We're now back to future us from then, but this is present us, but to those people it was future us. So you've had
we've literally, for us, that has been literally 3 seconds, and that's still fucking confused me.
Yeah. So you've had a couple of days to marinate on our thoughts about Deadpool and Wolverine. Still a good movie?
Oh, it's still a great movie. It is still a great movie. I mean, my head is still a buzz from the movie. Like, it was awesome. Even, like, I've written no notes about it for recording this, and even if I tried to write notes, like the first thing I tried to write tonight was a few notes about this, and I just couldn't. I'm like, my mind just kept jumping all over the place as to what happened, what we've seen and everything. I'm like, fuck, that was just so good. Where do I start? So I just didn't write anything down.
Yeah, it was fantastic. Now, like we gave away some of the cameos and stuff like that in that recording.
Yep.
But like, it was just, I've been thinking about how well written it was in a fourth wall breaking aspect. So, like, you look at
the whole thing was out of the fourth wall. It was awesome.
Just the fourth wall breaks. They weren't jokes for jokes kind of thing. They were written very smartly so that they worked towards the movie or towards a point. Whereas you look at like She-Hulk. Now, She-Hulk famously is another character that breaks the fourth wall in the comics, and she broke the fourth wall in the series. Her fourth wall breaks were just there for being there. It was and like you could tell the writers didn't really know what to do with it, so they kind of just went, "Oh, we're going to put in a little joke. Oh, look, I'm doing this thing here," and it just didn't work. Whereas this is like, even my favorite of all the fourth wall breaks in it. Well, there's a couple. Number one, him mentioning Hugh Jackman getting divorced right next to him.
Oh, that was funny. Like through the cinema, you just hear, "Oh fuck!"
But my favorite one was when he says, you're joining the sacred timeline. And he's inside the TVA and he goes, oh, hang on a second, and walks away, walks over to the camera and like, fuck you, Fox, fuck you. And then like smashes the camera.
Oh, I forgot about that. See, that's what I mean. That was so fucking good. That was awesome.
I lost it.
It just, and that's the thing, like things like that, you expected the break of the fourth wall, but you didn't expect that. And when it happened, because you're like, okay, what's he going to do here? And you'd see it, you're like, oh, fucking hell, that was brilliant. So you just start pissing yourself laughing.
Yeah. And like the movie was well written, well acted. And like it's funny because apparently the critic score is horrible at the moment.
Yeah. Naturally.
Fuck critics. Which technically, I think because we're reviewing a movie, we're critics, but still. Fuck us. It was so well done, and like all the way they handled the multiverse in it, which is like they say in the movie, very convoluted and very fucked up. They handled that really well. They handled bringing Wolverine into it well. There was a purpose to having him there. It wasn't just like, oh, look at the shiny toy we have. No, he was there for a reason. And then the cameos, most of them were there for a reason. Like they all put themselves into the story for a little bit. Like even when Elektra, Blade, and Gambit were there, that whole little arc was about giving them the appropriate ending, the proper ending that they deserved. And that was kind of, that tied in with Wolverine's arc throughout the movie, that he wanted to get that ending that he deserved, like the X-Men deserved kind of thing. Even though he already got his ending he deserved.
Oh yeah, 100%. And like to that extent, like this movie, I've seen it written a few times. This is it takes the piss out of Fox. It takes the piss out of the fact that it's gone to Disney. Like it does do that, but it's the movie itself is a love letter to everything that was there previously. I mean, this was more or less the passing of the torch of the anything pre-Marvel and bringing the these Marvel, like the X-Men and whatnot, into Disney, and it was done so incredibly well. It was done tactfully with the way that they used the characters, in my opinion. And it was done in funny ways. It was done in sincere ways. And I mean, one of the things that I really liked about the movie as well was actually through the credits, how they did that post-credit scene.
Oh, that was beautiful. I hope you had the time of your life.
Yeah, it was.
Seinfeld-esque.
Just pretty much them all signing off, so to speak. Like because it was behind the scenes from all of the MCU.
I think it was pretty much
movies
a behind the scenes movie from every non-MCU based. Oh no, it was all the mutant based ones, because there was no Spider-Man in there. But like Blade, I think Blade, there was a behind the scenes of Blade.
Well, they're Sony, so.
Yeah, it was behind the scenes of all the Fox stuff. That's right. Yeah, so yeah, of course. So Spider-Man wouldn't be there. different company. That makes sense.
Exactly. But I mean, even bringing in like some of the cameos, like it was done well and it was done awesome and in a funny way. I mean, seeing Chris Evans as Johnny Storm and the way that he came through, that was awesome. Oh, and
also one thing we didn't comment in on our talk in the car was the post-credit scene.
Didn't we?
No, we didn't talk about that. I just love that.
That was fucking hilarious.
How he goes, I just need to clear something up.
Yeah.
I didn't kill Johnny.
That was hilarious. And for context, Chris Evans, so Johnny Storm, his character gets fucked up by Nova, and then Deadpool gets blamed the whole time, even though he's saying that he's repeated what fucking Johnny Storm said. And obviously there was a camera in the background, and they used the fourth wall break again for the footage. Oh, it was fucking great. It was so hilarious.
The costumes, I loved the costumes. Wolverine, the yellow suit was just
it was awesome.
It was sensational.
You know what I actually really liked about the way that it was done as well is the fact that it's deliberately done in the way that is their uniform from start of the movie to the end of the movie, and you actually see the wear and tear.
As they beat the shit out of each other.
Exactly. So like scuffs, you see holes, you see rips, tears, like Wolverine's arms come on and McGregor's like with them. I thought that was incredible because I mean, most other movies they've got a new fucking suit every 3 scenes.
Yeah,
and the way that was done was just really, really well done. It was awesome. And just at the end, watching him pop on his hood,
that was
just get the so fucking.
I have to say the CGI in some of those parts was a bit uncanny valley. Like when he first puts the mask on, it was a little uncanny valley. It kind of poked out a little bit, but it was still such a cool moment that it didn't worry me. And kind of like when they jump out the bus at the end of the Deadpool core fight was a bit CGI-ish, but
I know exactly what you mean. But I think, even though it was there, I know exactly what you mean. I think the context of what was happening was enough to overshadow it.
Yeah. And one thing I loved about the vibe of the film was, and I'm sure this is 100% to Ryan Reynolds' credit, that the dude knows when to joke and knows when to just let it sit, just let the moment sit, kind of thing. Like you look at the end of the film when Wolverine and Deadpool are holding hands and they're about to beat Cassandra. And it's kind of like the life is playing, Madonna's playing. That moment isn't very jokey, like at all. There's one joke. I think there was one joke in that when his shirt rips off and you see the abs, and sort of Deadpool looks around and goes, "Ooh."
Well, because that was the callback.
Yeah.
Because earlier in the movie they said, he's got the suit on now since the divorce.
Yep.
Because he's not a rip. That was a pretty cool callback. Fuck that bastard's ripped.
But even like that moment, like that was the only joke in that moment, and it was a powerful moment. It was great, and it was kind of like that. Oh, is this it? Is this the end of Wolverine? Like, is this how he's going to end in this movie?
Yeah. And like to that extent as well, the one that probably got me a bit more than that was when they were in the car and they just pulled up, and it was when Wolverine found out that Deadpool just made a what did he make? He made an educated
wish.
Which is fucking brilliant. And then you just see the brakes slam on, Wolverine turns to him and just goes, "Did you just fucking say an educated wish?" And then he just tears into him, just absolutely tears into Deadpool, basically calling him an absolute piece of shit in every which way
that was
he can.
good too.
And and like you can see it in Wolverine's face, he is fucking hammering.
I mean, it helps that you have Hugh Jackman. Hugh Jackman is a fucking talented actor.
Oh, 100%. But then he says something at the end around Deadpool and Vanessa. Like I can't remember exactly what it was, but he hits on that. Now. And then he just turns to him, and then like there's a few seconds of silence. As you said, he knows when to let it sit. And then Wolverine turns to him and just says, "What? Got nothing to say, bub?" And he just turns to, "I'm going to fight you now." And he's buzz. And then it's just on. And you're like, fuck. And then that whole car scene was awesome.
Yeah, and I love at the end when it goes down and the blood's sort of dripping down. You see the sun fade and then the sun come back and there's just more blood and more blood.
Yep. And then it ends with Deadpool just fucking wrapped in the seatbelt on the side of the car.
That's right.
No.
I truly love this film. I thought it was great. It was definitely the movie of the year for me so far.
So, something that I thought was interesting that they did, whilst it sort of plays on the multiverse saga and it's in the MCU and all that sort of stuff, it's kind of completely separate, if you know what I mean.
Yeah.
It doesn't like so Deadpool he's in 616 at one point, asking to join the Avengers, but that doesn't go anywhere. There's when you see a few of the characters up on the screens, you see a couple of little things like that, but it's sort of it's all completely separate to the sacred timeline. It's just another universe that's there. Like the only other bit was how they're in the abyss or whatever with which is heavily through Loki.
Yeah, Loki episode 5, season 1, episode 5, episode 6, whatever it was.
So yeah, I thought that was. I thought there was going to be more sort of more of an attempt to integrate into the MCU, but I actually like that they didn't.
I think it was more about bringing mutants in. I think that was really kind of what Feige wanted out of it.
Yeah, and I mean, it's done. Like the mutants are fucking there now, which was awesome. So yeah, I mean, cool. Like amazing movie. I thought it was incredible. It's the best MCU movie in a long time. I think at the time we said it was the best one since Endgame. I tend to agree. I don't think it's anywhere near. It's not better than Endgame. No way. But it is, because I think Endgame was just that culmination of several years leading up to that sort of end point.
You're never going to get Endgame again.
No,
they'll never beat that again.
No.
What would you like to come out of this film?
What would I like?
Yeah, so if there's one thing to come out of this movie, what would you like? Well,
as in for the
let's
MCU?
Go three.
Or?
Yeah, those three things to come out of this film that you would like to happen to the MCU because of this film.
Because of this film? Well, first and foremost, which is there already, it's the introduction of the mutants into the MCU on a larger scale. So that's first and foremost. I would like to see within the MCU, which I think Feige's already come out and said it, I would like to see more of that R-rated component to it.
Blade's going to be the next one, apparently.
Yeah. So sweet. And the third one is that I want to see more of the those real. I want to see some of that lightheartedness come away from the shows a bit, because I think they've hammered it a little bit too heavy, and I want to see some of those more somber and intimate emotional moments, i.e. the couple that we spoke about between Hugh and Reynolds, where you had the ending, how it was like a real emotional draw card, and that piece when they're in the car, like you get that real heavy emotional piece to it. I would like to see more of that through the shows, because I think it's been lacking in a lot of the movies. They more go for that comedic entertainment value and lightheartedness.
They Disneyfy it.
Yeah, let's bring it back. Let's make it a little more raw. Don't completely lose that lightheartedness or even the comedy in it, because it can be done and achieved well with a lighthearted, but still have that real good draw to it.
Yes.
Give a bit more of a. I think those three things I'd like to see.
All right. Well, my big thing I would love to see come out of this movie is a X-23 series. I think she would fucking kill it in a series. I'd love to see her go to New York and start a life in New York. And I could feel it'd be a nice grungy kind of show. Like she's got there's a couple of X-23 series. I think X-23 Assassin. I think she was in the MYX series as well. But I'd love to see her kind of go and be on her own. And the series focused around her being the fish out of water person who she is, kind of situation. And I'd
watch the shit out of that.
Yeah, I would love that. I think that'd be a fantastic series. I would watch the shit out of it. Yes. What else would I like to see out of this? I think it would be cool to, and this is a complete out there weird one, but a Deadpool anthology series. So each episode is like an hour and 20-minute long episode focusing on a different Deadpool.
Okay, from the Deadpool.
So it'd be like a 10 episode Deadpool core anthology series. Each episode is a different Deadpool, whether it'd be like animated or actually it'd be pretty cool to be animated.
Yeah, it would be pretty sweet.
It'd be so like you'd have one episode that's Lady Deadpool, one episode that's Deadpool head, one episode on a dog pool, maybe nice pool. You know, the gunslinger pool. Like it'd be cool to have a series of each episode focused on it, and then maybe at the end is like the Avenger-esque style Deadpool call episode where they have to fight a big bad.
I like the idea of that. You know, I would take it. I wouldn't go down the route of like doing like a big hour and 20 or something like that. I would actually cut it back a little bit further.
Well, if it's animated, you can make it like 25-minute episodes.
Well, I was thinking similar to the What If series.
Yeah. Essentially, if it's animated, but if it was live action, awesome. I would go like movie length episodes. So that pretty much essentially each episode would be a movie in its own right. Just on a kind of lower budget kind of style thing, and not as big a threats. So to more focus on each Deadpool's own world, as opposed to them coming together and being a part of the multiverse. It'd just be like, this is Lady Deadpool's world. This is her situation that's happening in this world, kind of thing. The other thing that I would love to see come out of this, which would not happen, but I would love to see Gwenpool come into it. So that's Gwen Stacy from Spider-Man world. So Gwen, she's also Gwenum, Ghost Spider. But I'd love to, it's like essentially Gwen Stacy who becomes Deadpool in her universe. And she's like loony craziness, and her comics are fantastic. They're great fun. And it'd just be cool to have her come into the MCU in some weird fashion.
I think that'd be pretty sweet.
Yeah, even if it was
awesome, and it would come across on screen pretty awesome, I reckon.
The other thing from the Deadpool movie was when they're sitting in the car and it's just awkward, and he's sitting there, goes pew, 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 doing Spider-Man hands. Pew, 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 pew.
Will you shut up?
All right. Well, I think that's enough Deadpool talk. Last thing, it was a fantastic movie. Thoroughly enjoyed it, and we hope you guys all enjoyed it. If you've listened to us rant, welcome back to those of you who did not listen to the spoilers. It was a great conversation. You missed out on so much. There was giveaways and all this kind of stuff that you really need to go back and listen to. Maybe listen to the podcast a couple of times. Share it with your friends. They might want to be involved in the giveaway of that thing. There's nothing. All right. Well, that's really it for movies. So let us move on to extremely loud trailers. We got a couple of trailers this time. We got, let's start off with the Terminator Zero trailer from Netflix, Terminator Zero anime.
Fuck, this looks good.
Yeah, I tell you what, the trailer gave me fucking nothing.
I look, honestly, it looks fucking sweet. The trailer gave nothing away. Like, will it follow the typical story? What twists are they going to throw into it?
It kind of, for me,
it's amazing, dark and gritty.
Yeah, what I got from the trailer was that it's going to be based around Judgment Day. Is what I kind of got from the trailer. I'm not 100% sure on that, but that's kind of the feeling I got from the trailer.
I think the bit that I got is I think it's going to be two-pronged. I think it'll be around Judgment Day, but also around the lead up for the people being sent back. Because there was a couple of shots where you see like someone playing on his arm, like with a robot in his arm. True. And there was something which looked like the background looked very post-Judgment Day-y. That's probably a good way to put it. So I think it'll jump a bit as to whether it sort of sticks to sort of timelines and jumps between the two, or whether they just sort of do a bit of a scattering throughout. Either way, like fuck yeah. So it's not too far away either. It comes out the end of August on Netflix. It's coming from Masashi Kudo. He is best known for his work on Bleach, the anime.
Never watched Bleach.
Neither have I. I've only heard good things. So it's something I wouldn't mind giving a gander. Now, from a voice actor perspective, we've got Timothy Olyphant, Andre Holland. Pardon?
I know that name.
Yeah, Timothy Olyphant. You know his face as well. He was he was in Justified, I think it was.
Yeah, it's a dude from Deadwood.
Yeah.
The Girl Next Door. He's the boy, the porn director in Girl Next Door.
Yep. And one that I found interesting, which I didn't realize before, it's got Rosario Dawson in it. So from the Defenders universe. So she was the nurse who
Defenders
had a relationship
universe
with Luke
She's
Cage.
In fuck all episodes.
What? She was the Defenders universe. She was the nurse through Daredevil quite prominently. Had a relationship with Matt Murdock. She was in Luke Cage quite a lot.
She was in Luke Cage, wasn't she?
Sleeping with Luke Cage. I'm pretty sure she was also.
She was in all the series, but she only made like a couple of cameos.
Yeah, I mean, if you want to put her up there, like she's probably got one of the most screen times because of how much she's spent across all the fucking shows. But anyways, yeah, that'd be sweet. I mean, and she also more recently played Ahsoka in Ahsoka.
The only decent Star Wars worth watching.
Yeah, this look, it looks fucking awesome. I was keen for this. I'm super keen for this now.
So how are you on the Terminator universe? Like, you watch many of the recent things or anything like that, or?
I have watched everything that I know of. Now, the reason I say everything that I know of is because the most recent movie, I think the most recent movie was called Dark Fate.
Yep.
That
was the one with Daenerys or whatever her name is, the chick from Game of Thrones.
Right. Either way, it
was shit.
Yeah. It wasn't great.
No, it wasn't. Honestly, it wasn't a bad movie. It wasn't a bad movie. I enjoyed it.
It was watchable, but it just didn't have the same sort of feel and the same.
None of them have lived up to T2, and I mean,
correct.
James Cameron, man, you're never going to live up to James Cameron. The dude knows, he was raised on fucking Corman sets, man. He knows what he's doing.
Yeah, exactly. But I mean, yeah. So the reason I've seen what I think I've seen everything is because I didn't actually realize that movie came out, and then I stumbled across it one day. I'm like, oh, have I seen this? So I watched it.
Yeah. What about the Connor? I think it all died after the Connor Chronicles. I loved the Sarah Connor Chronicles. I thought it was a fantastic fucking show, and I still to this day it bites me that shit got cancelled and it ended on the cliffhanger.
Yeah, exactly. Look, I mean, it was pretty cool. Have you ever seen the there was the lady, she was kicking around for a while. I don't know how true this is. I just seen the video and watched and pissed myself laughing, but apparently she's a writer for like Terminator and The Matrix. Or she was involved in both of them in some way, shape, or form. This is the claim. And she talks about how you've got John Connor, right?
Mm-hmm.
John Connor, JC, Jesus Christ. And being John Connor, Jesus Christ, he is the Savior reborn. And as it moves forward, you've got the total Judgment Day. And Judgment Day brings about the machines. And then the machines take over the world, which moves forward, flash forward. Matrix. What do we get in the Matrix? We get Neo. Neo is JC reborn again as the new coming and the second coming. And she just goes and you're like, what the fuck?
Well, I mean, the Matrix is a religious fucking allegory kind of style film. Like you can very much tell that's what that is. No, Terminator's just a fucking. It was just an action movie.
Look, I had a lot of laughing when I was watching it. So even if it has truth to it with the way that
but
it
I mean,
was written,
it's a pretty cool connection
that
the Terminator universe turns into the Matrix universe.
Yeah, I thought the connection was cool. Yes,
I could see that one happening. All right, what do we got? Different Man.
This
is this caught me by surprise.
Pardon?
This caught me by surprise. This trailer.
Yeah, so it's being released as or peddled as a dark comedy. It comes out September 2024. It was released at Sundance in January, coming to cinema. It's by director Adam Schimberg. I had a quick look at his other stuff. Don't know. It looks like it's going to be a bit of a mind fuck.
Yes.
So Sebastian Stan, Renate Rins, and Adam Pearson. Now, I'm going to come back to Adam Pearson in a second, but it looks like a bit of a mindfuck of a movie where Sebastian's character, he gets healed from ultimately some form of elephantitis. So he's got like engorged face and whatnot, like real oversized, gets healed. And then once he gets healed, another guy comes along with the same thing. And he's like, oh, hey, and knows the guy. But then Sebastian's like, what the fuck? Who's this guy? Has the same like condition that he had previously. And it just throws a spanner. And from there, it looks like it's just going to purely be fucking with Sebastian's character's mind for the rest of it.
That's what I got from it too.
That looks really, really cool. I'm interested to see.
And it's A24 as well, baby. They're making some killer fucking films at the moment.
100%. It looks like a good movie, bit of a dark side. I'm interested to see how the comedy sort of plays through it. I think the comedy is we'll see how it lands. And the reason I said Adam Pearson, I want to come back to it, is because he actually has that condition.
Neurofibromatosis.
Type 1.
Yes. So it's essentially engorged like tumors or something, I think.
Yeah. So he, when he was quite young, he's a twin. When he was quite young, he hit his head, I think it was, and developed this condition. So yeah, the second
So it's a
actor that you
genetic
see-
condition that causes changes in skin pigment and tumors on nerve tissue.
Yeah, well, there you go. And yeah, so I found that quite interesting. And say apparently Adam Pearson in this is fucking incredible. Apparently Sebastian Stan, they've come out and said that it's the performance of his lifetime. So hey, keen to see it and keen to see what happens.
I'm all for it, man.
100%.
It looks great, and I'll watch the shit out of it. I think it looks, I think it'll be very entertaining. And funnily,
definitely.
Adam Pearson was in a movie called Under the Skin with another MCU alum, Scarlett Johansson.
Oh, Under the Skin. That
There
sounds
you go.
familiar. I
Yeah.
don't think I've seen it though. Yeah, I haven't seen it.
There you go. One day we're going to have to talk about a Scarlett Johansson movie called Lucy. Have you seen it?
I have definitely started watching.
It's a Luc Besson film. We'll talk about it at
she's
one
like,
point.
She
It's
gets
when
picked up.
she takes drugs and-
because she's drugged
Yeah.
or she's
And
on drugs or something.
it got
yeah.
severely bagged on. I fucking love that movie so much that I actually named my skyline when I had it Lucy. But yeah, we'll talk about that in another episode
right.
at some point.
Yeah, I haven't watched all of it. I definitely started it one day and for some reason got distracted when my mind went elsewhere.
All right, Dragonball Daima.
Yeah, I mean, I seen it. I threw it up there because I mean,
I didn't even know it was coming out, to be honest.
Neither did I. Neither did I. Now the trailer I seen, it's just it's more or less an announcement trailer.
Yes.
You don't hear any voices. It's just like visuals with some just to give you a feel of what the show kind of will be. Look, it's nothing to write home about. It's just giving that visual introduction. It seems to be some form of retelling of Dragon Ball, so the original.
So it is, from what I can tell, Goku and all his allies get chibi-fied or mini-fied.
Yeah, more or less.
And they go on adventures with new characters and all that kind of stuff. And so it's based in the Dragon Ball Super Z world.
Yes.
But some of the characters get chibi-fied. And so Piccolo's, in the images I'm looking at, Piccolo's chibi, Vegeta's chibi, the pink Kai guy's chibi, Goku's chibi.
So yeah, from what I seen, it seemed like they took the Dragon Ball Super or a lot of the Dragon Ball Super characters and they're doing it just in that junior style and running a story which is more. That's why they call it Dragon Ball, because it's when Goku was in his youth.
Yeah, so I don't know. We'll see.
Yeah, we'll give it a go.
I liked Super, so we'll see how it goes.
Super was good.
Funnily enough, whilst we're talking about Dragon Ball, this is this is in my rumors for TV shows part, but I may as well put it here. Dragon Ball Super Abridged has officially started on YouTube. So for those of you who back in the day, there used to be a channel called the 4-Star channel, I think it was 4-Star Ball Dragon Balls or something like that it's called. But they did a series called Dragon Ball Z Abridged, where essentially a whole heap of random voice actor guys got together and redubbed over the Dragon Ball Z series and re-edited it and put little things in and changed the story out, and it was fucking hilarious. It was so good. It was so well done. In times I'd be like, I'd rather watch this than the actual series sometimes. And it just parts of Vegeta going, mine, when he punches people and shit. And yeah, so another channel called where have I got it here? TV show. So it is called, where am I? Oh God, I've put it somewhere. The Kai Games, the channel's called. And they've done the Dragon Ball Z Super Broly movie is all up there. The whole movie, they abridged it. And they've just started the series. And the first episode is fucking quality, I must say. It's very, very good. Watching Beerus wake up and it's just hilarious.
All right. I'm going to have to give it
yeah. So I think it's good. But I mean, while we're on that, might as well jump over.
TV shows.
I got me some rumors for TV shows.
Oh, yeah.
You got anything there, sir?
Yep.
All right. Well, I'll start.
Do you want me to start?
You can start. Yeah, you go for it, sir. Go for it.
I'll jump in with one that's so we got some news about Halo during the week, and that Halo has it's been pulled. But apparently the rumor is that Christopher Nolan and his team have reached out to get the rights to the Halo series.
Okay.
So I think that would be awesome.
Yeah.
You're not sold.
The only issue with the Halo world is, and this is one of the big things, like, and it needs to be a series because there's just so much that needs to be covered.
So I'm purely looking at this from that perspective, in that even though Nolan might be getting involved, continuing in TV format.
Yeah.
If it goes to movies, I'm not as excited. If it stays as TV series, I am excited.
Like, in all honesty, I was happy with the live action. I would have continued watching that every season. I loved it. I enjoyed it. I thought he was a great Master Chief.
100%.
I don't give a fuck that he took his helmet off. Fuck off, neckbeards.
Yep.
But I would love an animated series. I think an animated series would kill this. I think it'd be great. Do it like fuck this Netflix 10 episode bullshit. Do it old school, 20 fucking episode seasons. Let's go back to when TV actually fucking cared. And I'd love it, because that way you could delve deeper into the backstory of like the Forerunners and humans, when the humans were smart, and then the Forerunners fucking made them dumb again because they lost the battle and stuff, and all that shit that happened pre the games. Fuck the games. Everyone, we've got that story of the games. Let's fucking go do all the backstory stuff, and I'm
trying to think. I'm sure that there's some stuff that went on there that was done. That was animated.
There was the animes one. So the Animatrix, they did like 8 anime directors took over and made 8 short stories, and then there was
that's right.
Then there was Return to Dawn or something, which is a live action YouTube series.
Yep.
And then there was another live action, Forward Unto Dawn, I think it was called. And then there was another live action series as well that was on YouTube. Then there was the teaser trailer that the guys that were going to be Peter Jackson's company did for a live action thing with warthogs and stuff attacking. And I think that was really it from memory.
Yeah, okay.
But yeah, so it's upsetting, but hopefully it lives on.
Yes. Fingers crossed.
The last episode of The Boys, season 4, was originally called Assassination Run, but they changed it after the attempted Trump shooting to the season 4 final.
There you go. I think, after that, they put a few warnings, so to speak.
Yeah, they did. They put a warning at the start of the episode.
Yeah, whenever there was something to do with politicians, they just put that at the front end of it. Noah Hawley's Alien will be called Alien Earth.
Yeah, you mentioned this to me.
I did mention this, and I think that is awesome.
Yes.
Because that's one thing we've never, you've got your Alien vs. Predators, which they do come to Earth, and there's a little bit of that. But I think to have an alien-based movie on Earth and get it just sort of some form of rampant, actually alien getting through there, and your face huggers and whatnot, I think that'd be awesome.
Well, see, the funny thing is, this is an old story, old concept, because Alien 4, I think it was Alien 4, was meant to be, there's a script and everything, it was meant to be actually, no, it was Alien 3. The original script was Ripley and Rabbit, or what's the name? The young girl's name in Alien 2?
Can't remember.
They returned to Earth only to find that Earth has been overrun by Xenos. And that was the kind of concept for, I think it was Alien 3. I'm pretty sure they did a comic of it too.
Okay.
And so it's an old concept, that one. And in saying that, technically Xenos have been on Earth because they're in the Alien vs. Predator movies.
Yes.
But yeah, I'm down with that. I'm cool. I love the Alien franchise. I love all of them, even Prometheus, and yeah, down for it. Red Dwarf is getting another season, baby.
Oh, really?
Yep. Fucking love Red Dwarf. I think it's a fantastic show, and I'm looking forward to a new season. All the original cast and everything.
Yeah, right. Okay, well, there you go.
Yeah, well, because the show never officially ended either. That's the thing. It never officially ended. No.
Yeah, well, there you go. Oh, that'd be sweet. Can't remember if we've mentioned this before, but it came back up in my feed. A limited series about Steve Rogers returning the Infinity Stones is in development.
Yes, this is actually one of mine. Chris Evans to return as Captain America in a new series. Yeah,
that'd be cool.
Yeah, I'm down with that because
that concept.
Yeah, that'd be cool. Stephen Amell starring in the new Suits LA spin-off.
Oh, yep.
Which I'm down for. I loved Suits. I thought it was a fantastic show, and I love Stephen Amell, so I'm down for watching him in a Suits spin-off show. And apparently, it's got a full season. It got picked up for a full season, so at least we'll get one season of it before it gets cancelled.
All right, sweet. No, I don't have anything else, but no, that sounds good.
Well, my last one, and this is just a fun little fact that I saw pop up on my Facebook feed. Apple TV's earnings were less in a month than Netflix makes in one day.
Yeah.
So yeah, say what you will, but sure. All right, let's go to. I've got.
Gaming.
So I've got a little bit of gaming news, a little bit of gaming world news. So last week we talked about last episode we talked about the DC United crowdfunding campaign that's happening now, and we we're talking about how things escalate. Money. So there are now, I think as of this moment, 6 expansions that they've announced for it that come with minis, and it's up to, if you were back everything, currently it's like $460 Australian. money. It's mental. Also, on that same note, DC, WizKids are bringing out a DC deck builder called DC Forever, designed by Damon Stone, and it's going to release in spring 2025. Now, for those people who know, DC has many deck builders. So Cryptozoic are usually the creators of all these deck builders, and there's their Cryptozoic engine, which is their deck builder engine. I think they've got like 6 or 7, maybe more versions of DC versions. They've also got like Lord of the Rings, Rick and Morty, fucking shitloads of them. So it's interesting that DC have given out their license for someone else to make another deck builder. Now I don't really know what else what mechanics the game will have and stuff in the deck builder. But, I mean, the dude knows his card games. He's been a designer on many of the Call of Cthulhu card game expansions, living card game expansions, on many of the Android Netrunner LCG expansions.
Sure.
He designed a really cool game called Android Mainframe, which I've got, which is fantastic. He did... some of the Legends of the Five. He did the Legends of the Five Rings. He did Star Wars. He's done some Star Wars Destiny design.
Okay. Yeah.
So yeah, he knows his card games. So it'll be interesting. I'll probably buy it. I love deck builders. I love DC, and still on the video game world, because we've got Gen Con coming up this weekend, I think, or maybe next weekend.
Gen Con? I'm not sure when that.
So we're getting a fair few announcements kind of popping up of this. So this is one of the more interesting ones, and it's one of those things of, just because you can do it doesn't mean you need to do it. And that is the Smurfs role-playing game has been announced. So you now can live out your fantasies of being small blue people with one female in the village.
So who's that targeted at?
I don't know.
There's probably 2 people who that's targeted at.
No, there'd be some weird fucking people out there with Smurf.
No, I mean 2 types of people. It's either targeted as kids kids so they can just because they love the Smurfs, or fucking creeps. I mean, I can't see any middle ground there. Like
yeah, nah.
Why would you do that?
It's a weird thing. I don't know who's releasing it. What do we got? Smurf RPG.
That wow.
Yeah. So it's being released by Mystery and Payo. Mystery Media. That must be who owns the Smurfs. And Payo. I don't.
Oh,
yeah.
Maestro Media.
Oh, Maestro Media. Yeah. Yeah. No idea. It's just sure.
Yeah. No. Gen Con is 1st of August to Sunday the 4th of August.
Yes, so there will be plenty of announcements coming out. And we saw some really cool Star Wars Unlimited con exclusive things, which is, unfortunate for us because you have to be at the con. You have to have a ticket to get them.
Yep.
It's devastating, but what are you going to do? And the last little piece of news we've got here is that Funko Pop are making a video game. It looks, from what I've seen, it looks very much in the vein of like the Lego games.
Okay. Yeah, that'd be sweet.
It'll be like multi-universal kind of thing.
Yeah, right. I mean, their board games that they release, they're fun.
Yes, yes, I enjoyed them.
Even if you just that's just one thing to throw out there. They're fun, but video game concept, throw out the Lego. All the Lego games, they're fun. No matter what concept you've got behind it, they're awesome. They fill in a lot of time and create many arguments when you're playing with more than one player because someone is too far on the other side of the screen when you're trying to drag yourself over to the other side of the screen. But anywho, but yeah, all for it.
Yeah,
that'd be sweet.
And then the last little bit of gaming news, and this is one I like, and this has got a little bit of a conversation to go along with it.
Okay.
Mantic Games, who are essentially a Games Workshop competitor with very similar games. They have Games Work GW have like Warhammer Fantasy. These guys have Kings of War, and then you've got. You've got Warhammer 40k. Mantic have Warpath, Firefight, and then they've got similar games, kind of thing, right? And some of I think the guy that runs it or owns it used to work for Games Workshop. A lot of their games are designed by people who designed Game Workshop games, all that kind of stuff. They've taken one step that Games Workshop will never take. And I don't understand. I understand why, but then I also don't understand why because it's just money for them, and that's all they seem to give a fuck about is money. Mantic have gone the 3D printable route. So they opened up what was called the Vault probably a year and a half ago, maybe. I've been a member of it since the start. Essentially,
I was going to say it's been out for about a while.
It's a monthly subscription, and then I've gotten pretty much every Mantic Armada fleet, so that's their naval game. I've gotten all of the ships 3D printable models, so I've got every fleet for it. And then they've released firefight games. They've released models for every game they own, essentially. But on top of that now, they've taken one of their most popular games, which is Dead Zone, which is essentially their kitchen table skirmish game, which is in its 3rd edition. It's been out for a fair while. I backed it on Kickstarter in the first one. They've announced what is called a My Mini Factory Frontier, which is essentially My Mini Factory's crowdfunding. And essentially you can sign up and you get, I think it's like 90 US, and you get 4 strike teams. You get a whole heap of the train to be 3D printable, all 3D printable, so you can print as much as you want. And it's just, in my mind, it's a smart move by them. Because, I've got 3D printers and it's just so easy to print armies. And I feel better giving the money to that company than just going out and try and find cheap models or free models kind of things. And I know that I'm getting good quality models that are designed well. I know that they fit in the game. I know they've got stats for them, all that kind of stuff. And it's just, it's good.
It is good. And I suppose what they're trying to do is they're trying to get into the market which people are doing anyways. If that so,
Yeah,
what I
it's
mean
there. It's going to happen.
What I mean is that you can people will get and adapt the Games Workshop models in some way, shape, or form so that you can print a Space Marine. But you didn't buy that from Games Workshop, did you? You get it from somewhere else. So Mantic are almost getting in front of that factor. So, hey, we're going to release them all so that we can be on the forefront. You can build your battle groups. You can build your armies. You can go through and you can play all these games, and you can do it at home at what is like a hobby, a part of the hobby that's increasing every single day. 3D printing. It is so accessible these days that it makes sense.
And it's also it's not like they're just releasing 3D models. Well, they're still releasing physical kits for those people who do not want to go through the mess and effort and fails and cost of 3D printing. They're still releasing those. So you just buy them, you build them, and play.
Correct. And I mean, it would be I would love to know what because I reckon they would have done some form of exercise from a financial perspective.
Oh, yeah, 100%.
To say that it's financially viable. I mean, it'd be interesting to see what they're making on a kit that gets put together, like as in a starter kit.
Yeah, so physical starter set. Yeah,
exactly. So a starter set, like, I mean, we'll just throw it out there, $150. That'll get you a 2-player starter with maybe, I don't know, 10 or so models each, the rules, all your punch kits.
Well, essentially, so because I bought this Dead Zone starter set 2 months ago, which, I mean, I've got a 3D printer. I still bought that starter set. It was $130, I think. You got the rule book, you got the army faction book, you got 30 models, 30 minis, and some train kits. So it's still a good deal. And essentially, you're paying $90 for these 3D print files, which is 4 different armies instead of the 2 armies.
Yeah. So you get more, but I mean, once they've done their model, that's it.
Yeah.
So they do the model and they put it out there, and however many people are buying a copy of that model, that's money that they're getting.
There's no post cost for them.
There's no postage. There's no manufacturing. There's no anything other than a guy who makes the model. And then, which means what that allows for is people to focus on the actual development of games. So it means you can expand on your games. You can develop more factions. You can develop different rule sets, different arcs, different whatevers. So it makes your base bigger and more accessible.
And they've and also they did in the Warpath Kickstarter that's coming out for their 8mm skirmish war game. They released STLs for that as well.
Yes,
or you will be getting STLs for that. So,
yeah, and they did the whole thing. Here's your cost. You can get every single STL file.
Yep.
Here you go.
So it's interesting. It's just one of those things that
I'm all for it. I think.
I kind of wish more companies would do it.
Oh, sorry.
But yeah, all for it.
Yeah, look, I think it's a great idea. I think it's smart. I think it's so long as they find a good balance between the physical copies still and what they're doing here.
Yeah,
because I think you still need to have the physical copies for people who don't do the 3D printing part of the hobby,
100%,
or the people who do the 3P part of the hobby who are feeling lazy.
Which I've done many times.
Many times.
There's been times where I'm like, just give them to me painted. I don't really want to fucking paint them either.
Exactly.
All right, what's on the table, sir? Let's finish her off with that.
Oh, what's on the table? So I have all of the videos are out of the Lego.
Oh, nice.
Or at least the time lapse for it. So that was so all the time lapses are out there. They're on my the Frantic Brock Instagram page if you want to go have a gander at that. What we will do is piece them all together and put them onto the YouTube channel. Just so you can have a look at it as a one shot, so to speak. I'm going to have a couple more little videos because there's a couple little secrets that they put into it, which is really, really cool, which I found. Like some bits you can pull some panels back and see some stuff in behind and whatnot. And one little surprise that I'll piece together and bring along as a final little tidbit for that whole thing. So, yeah, the Lego's been the prominent thing on my table and getting the videos out there. Yeah, my armies haven't progressed from that.
Yeah, no,
They've been primed.
I started printing a new one-page rules faction. So these are the high elf fleets. So I've just printed one of their tanks, which look phenomenal. I love the big, thick design of them. Essentially, they're Eldar sort of copies. So I've started printing them. I ran out of resin though, unfortunately. So that's as far as I got for that guy.
Try to take on my Necrons. What are they?
Robot Legion.
Robot Legion.
Yeah.
I'm going to try to take on my Robot Legion again.
Yeah. And I also have finished 3D printing a Guitar Hero guitar, which for those at home can see here. And I've been playing Clone Hero a fair bit. My son has been playing it with me. He's been getting into it, which is pretty cool. And I've got pretty much all the tracks. There's like 5,000 tracks on there, which is just mental.
I didn't realize there was so many.
Yeah, because
nuts.
Rock Band had a thing called Rock Band Network, where they released like nearly 4 songs a day or something like that, and it was
yeah, right.
It was like over 1,000 songs or something like that, and then
fair enough.
Rock Band 1, 2, and 3 all had DLC packs, which had huge amounts of songs to it. There was 10 Guitar Hero songs, and then like all the rock bands, you had like Beatles Rock Band, fucking Lego Rock Band, Van Halen, fucking all of that shit. Shut up, Springs. Yeah, so there's plenty of them. So yeah, I've been playing a little bit of that. Yeah, that's really about it. Yep, that's it. All right, well, we'll call it there. So before we leave, check out the Patreon, guys. If you haven't checked out the Patreon, thank you very much. And thank you to Zach for being our first Patreon member yet again. We really appreciate it. And for Frantic Nerdcast, I am AJ.
And I'm Brock.
And we're done. You can check us out on Spotify, Apple Music, and wherever all good podcasts are listened to. On YouTube, you can check out the latest episodes just after the podcast is uploaded.
Follow along the journey on our Facebook and Instagram. You follow me, Frantic Brock, on Instagram, and you can follow AJ, Weird Art by AJ.
See ya.